Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's session, I'll be discussing about the process of rDNA technology. In my previous session, I completed tools of rDNA technology. So in this session, I'll be discussing about process of rDNA technology. So recombinant DNA technology involves different steps. So let's list them one by one. Isolation of desirable DNA, then cutting of desirable DNA at specific locations, amplification of gene of interest using PCR, insertion of rDNA into host, obtaining gene product and downstream processing. So these different steps I'll be discussing in detail, if possible in one video, or I'll be discussing in 2 or 3 sessions, 2 or 3 videos. So now let us start with the first step, isolation of desirable DNA or a gene. Now, to cut the DNA with restriction enzyme, it has to be first obtained in a pure form. So, to obtain DNA in a pure form, it is isolated in different steps. It can be isolated in a different steps. So, first step is to remove the cell wall. Cell wall should be removed. That is the first step. So for removing cell wall, depending upon the cell, we can decide which type of enzyme to be used. So it is an enzymatic digestion of the cell wall. So if it is a bacteria, the enzyme lysozyme is used, and if it plants, it is cellulase, and if it is fungus, chitinase is used. Cell membrane is removed. After cell wall, then cell membrane also must be removed. Cell membrane and all the biological membranes. We mean all biological membranes are all membranes surrounding cell organelles. That is called as a biological membrane. So all biological membranes also will be removed. So first step we have done removal of cell wall. Then second step we have done removal of the cell membrane. Now next step will be RNA and proteins are also removed by treating them with nucleases and proteases. Nucleases are the enzymes which digest nucleic acids. Specifically, RNA must be digested. So we can call them as ribonucleases also and proteases which digest protein. And the whole mixture is subjected to centrifugation and DNA is obtained as a precipitate. Now, DNA precipitate by adding chilled ethanol during centrifugation. Chilled ethanol is added. Then DNA is collected in the form of threads in suspension by technique called spooling. So, spooling is a technique where the DNA in the solution. So, we find DNA is in the precipitate in the solution. So, a glass rod is inserted into this. By rotating the glass rod will be rotated, and by rotating like threads, the DNA can be separated, and that process is called as a spooling. Now, once we obtain the DNA, then DNA can be cut at specific locations. So, second step is cutting of DNA at specific locations. Now, the DNA obtained in previous method is digested by using specific restriction enzymes. And now the DNA fragments are obtained, and DNA fragments are separated by gel electrophoresis. So, I will now discuss briefly what is the technique of gel electrophoresis and how is it useful for separation of DNA fragments. So, gel electrophoresis is a technique where an agarose gel is taken in a glass plate. Agarose gel is taken, and this glass plate is filled with the gel. On one side, 4 wells are made by using a comb. a special comb is used. By using a comb on one side, 4 different wells are made. First well is called as a control, where only DNA mixture is used. Then other 3 wells, DNA treated with one or the other restriction enzyme is used. DNA should be treated with one or the other restriction enzymes. This is called as a starting point. We know DNA is a negatively charged molecule, so it moves towards the anode. So starting point, we call it as a cathode, and towards the other side it is called as a anode. So DNA fragments start moving towards anode. So in the process they get separated based on their size. So smaller one will move faster gradually and it towards the anode. Larger one will be towards the starting point. Starting point, we find larger one, gradually based on the size they move. So the main criteria how they move is based on size. Based on size. This is one point. And this agarose gel, it gives a sieving effect, so that easily the fragments can pass through. It gives a sieving effect and easily the fragments can pass through. So that is the use of agarose gel. And all of you know agar-agar is obtained from red algae, Gracilaria or Gelidium. From many of these the agarose gel can be, agar-agar is obtained from which the gel can be prepared. Now the fragments have to be visualized. Fragments cannot be seen because of their transparent nature. So visualization, they can be visualized by staining the gel, first staining with ethidium bromide, followed by UV light. Then it is exposed to UV light. So when it is exposed to UV light, these DNA fragments which are separated, they are visible as, they can be seen as orange bands. They can be seen as orange bands. So easily we can observe these bands based on the size. Now we obtain the DNA fragments and they are separated based on the size. Now next step is the DNA fragments have to be separated from gel piece. So that process is called as elution. So what is elution? Separation of DNA fragments from gel piece. From each gel piece, DNA fragment can be separated. And these separated fragments, now they can be introduced into a vector. So now let us see what happens. Here we will discuss another technique also little later. So first, according to the technique, all different steps involved, first I will complete one by one. Then at the end of this, once I complete the topic, I am going to discuss different techniques involved to identify these fragments. That we will discuss as an extra topic because that is not within the NEET syllabus. So let us say after elution what do we obtain? We obtain different DNA fragments. Now these DNA fragments which are obtained, now they are inserted into a vector. So vector DNA is also cut by similar restriction enzyme. And this vector DNA and desirable DNA are mixed in presence of enzyme ligase. So this ligase is called as a joining enzyme, or ligase is also called as molecular, glue. Glue means one which is joining. Now we obtain recombinant vector. Now This recombinant vector must be introduced into a host cell. Now, next one, this recombinant vector which is obtained, it must be introduced into a host cell. Now, next step, what we do is amplification of gene of interest. So, before actually introducing into the vector, we can first obtain many copies. What is the use of vector? Vector is only used to transfer it to a host cell like E. coli. And in E. coli cell, the particular desirable gene will express itself. For expression of gene, we need a vector and the host. But suppose we want to only multiply the gene without expression. We want just only many copies of the gene, that we also can call it as a gene cloning. So amplification of gene of interest by PCR. PCR technique will help in multiplication of a particular DNA fragment. So it is a gene cloning method without using any vector or a host cell. So now we will see what is the technique of PCR. So let us see the PCR technique, that is amplification of gene of interest. It is also called polymerase chain reaction. Here multiple copies of a gene of interest are synthesized in vitro using two sets of primers. Now, what are primers? They are small chemically synthesized oligonucleotides that are complementary to the regions of DNA. So, primers are normally synthesized by reverse transcriptase. If it is a DNA primer, it is synthesized from RNA. So, the experiment in polymerase chain reaction, DNA primers are used. You know, in natural method of DNA replication in living cells, RNA primers are required. Now, the enzyme for DNA polymerase extend primers using nucleotides provided in the reaction of the template. If the process is repeated for 30 cycles, then DNA segment which is amplified is about 1 billion times. 1 billion copies are obtained. That means each time when technique is performed, it doubles. Doubling will take place. So DNA polymerase which is used for the experiment is obtained from a thermophilic bacterium called as Thermus aquaticus. And this DNA polymerase which is obtained from this bacterium, thermophilic bacterium, this is also called as a Taq polymerase. Taq polymerase, that means TAQ will stand for the name of this bacterium, Thermus aquaticus. Now this amplified fragment is now cloned using a vector and host. Remember one thing, PCR technique is used only for gene cloning without using a host. So let us see diagrammatically what is this PCR technique. So in PCR technique we find, so this is a diagrammatic representation of PCR technique. In PCR technique, there are 3 steps involved. First step is called as a denaturation. And this is done in an instrument called as a thermocycler. It is done in an instrument called as a thermocycler. And here, no host is required for gene cloning. No host required. And it is a, we can consider as, it is a gene cloning method. It is a gene cloning method, but without using a vector. Without using a vector. And this involves 3 steps. First step is called denaturation. Second step is called annealing. The third one is called as extension. Now, denaturation. Denaturation means separation of the 2 strands. So first the 2 strands are separated when this mixture is heated, DNA is heated up to about 94 degrees centigrade. And this instrument, thermocycler, can maintain these temperature. It is an automatically operated instrument which maintains these temperatures wherever required. So here the 2 strands will get separated. Now second step is called annealing, which requires primers. And here temperature is reduced to 54 degrees centigrade. So here a primer is required. So if it is 5 prime to 3 prime, the primer is added in 5 prime to 3 prime. So remember, one very important feature for this is here DNA primers are required. DNA primers are required, and they are short DNA fragments which are in the direction 5 prime to 3 prime. So if they are in 5 prime to 3 prime, they start adding from 3 prime to 5 prime of the strand. So from this end the primer is added, and up to 5 prime to 3 prime. Then this 3 prime end of the primer, from this end the nucleotides will be added. So what is important here? From 3 prime end of a primer, complementary nucleotides are added. Complementary nucleotides are added. From 3 prime end, complementary nucleotides are added. Similarly, if you observe the other strand also, it is from 3 prime and complementary nucleotides are added. Later, these primers are removed. Primers are removed, and the gap is filled by DNA repair process. Gap is filled by DNA repair process. So this from 3 prime onwards, it will be nucleotides will be added. So since it is a DNA primer, actually it goes on. This particular point which I told you, the gap filled by DNA repair, generally this we find in living cells, in natural conditions, in living cells, where I told you RNA is used as a primer. But here, since DNA is primer, this primer remains along with it, and the nucleotides are added from 3 prime and onwards. Now, the third step is called as extension. In extension, there is synthesis of new DNA strand. I told you from 3 prime end onwards, the nucleotides will be added. That comes in extension. And extension requires the polymerase called TAQ polymerase, which is, and plus deoxyribonucleotides. This enzyme plus nucleotides. This enzyme is obtained from a thermophilic bacterium, Thermus aquaticus. And extension is done at a temperature of about 72 degrees centigrade. So here there is an increase in temperature. Finally, after one cycle, we find 2 DNA molecules are formed. Suppose 30 cycles are taking place. DNA is multiplied about 1 billion times. This is what is called as a PCR technique. So, simple question what we can get. Here, simple numerical question. If asked, we can expect it. So, one important thing what you remember, just whatever I have noted down, it is taking place in an automated instrument, thermocycler. No host is required, and it is a gene cloning method, and DNA primers are required, which are present in 5 prime to 3 prime. And from 3 prime onwards, nucleotides will be added. That is taking place during extension. And extension requires an enzyme, TARC polymerase, and also deoxyribonucleotides. So this is what is a PCR technique. So here just one numerical I will discuss here. Just simple, if we take, suppose there are 20 genes and they are undergoing 3 cycles of PCR. 20 genes and 3 cycles of PCR. How many copies are obtained at the end of 3 cycles? How many copies are obtained? So 20 genes are undergoing 3 cycles of PCR. How many copies are obtained? So simple, we can write 20 genes. First cycle we will get 40. There is a doubling. Second cycle we get 80. Third cycle we get, after 3 cycles we get 160. So 160 copies of genes can be obtained. So in this way, we can multiply the genes in a very short time. That's what is called as a PCR technique. I hope I made it very clear, students. So with this we complete up to the PCR technique. Now next one, I conclude my video here. So next video, next session, next video, I will discuss about insertion of recombinant DNA into a host organism. So we just discussed that recombinant vector is obtained by joining the desirable DNA with the vector DNA by using the enzyme ligase. So once the recombinant vector is obtained, that recombinant vector must be introduced into a host cell. So that method we are just going to discuss in next video. So thank you very much for listening. Those who are watching my video for the first time, please subscribe and also share. Thank you very much.